foremost, Damien, he's going to be pretty upset. We've been trying to get a nice little sit down with my man, Dr. Luke Wood, the president of Sac State University. He's a busy man. So we've been trying to chase him down for forever. And we finally do. And Damien's out. he's out today on vacation. I'm like, oh man, he gonna miss it, man. But we are honored to have you on the show today. And we're going to talk about a number of different things, man, because you're doing so many great things with the university. There's so many things going on. I know you're pressed for a little time, but I'm going to try and get as much in as I possibly can. So first and foremost, Sac State spring game going down this Sunday at Hornet Stadium, 4 p.m. I definitely want to talk to you about that because I've never experienced what I think I'm going to experience on Sunday in this city before, man. So I can't wait. So we'll get to that. But first, let me ask you about the last 6-7 months or so, right? 2 massive hires for the football program and the men's basketball program with Coach Brendan Marion, Coach Mike Bibby. The excitement that those 2 hires have drawn, it can be felt throughout the city, right? And I just want to know from your point of view, how has it been being on the forefront, you and athletic director Mark Orr, being on the forefront for these 2 massive hirings?
I got to admit, it's a lot of fun. We're having a good time. Mark Orr is the one who deserves the credit. He's the visionary. When I first came to Sac State, back to Sac State because, I went to school here. But when I first came back, I said, what is it that you want to see to Mark? And, as athletic director, he said, I want to see us being able to compete at the highest level of D1 for all of our athletic programs. And I asked him, what is it going to take for us to get there? And he said, it's going to take, us bringing on the best possible coaches to provide the support the students need. And for us investing in athletic facilities and making the transition to becoming an FBS football team. And, we have followed that game plan and, the hiring of 2 amazing, powerful coaches who are literally changing the way that people think about Sacramento State overnight. Right. It's been amazing. Brennan Marion, the go-go offense. That's why I wore this,
Right. That's right.
I got a go Sacramento jacket on, and that's because our football coach is Brennan Marion. He is the creator, the originator, the developer, the founder of the go offense, which is a kind of high-flying, high-scoring flash offense. Out of UNLV, we were able to bring him here to Sacramento State, and in a very short time, brought us to having the number 1 FCS recruiting class in the country, not in Northern California or in California, but in the entire United States. Yeah. And then, of course, announcing Mike Bibby is our new head basketball coach for men's basketball, and just the energy around that. And then, of course, the 3 new recruits that he's gotten already. It's just amazing. It's a great time to be a Hornet.
Absolutely. And I've said a few different times, and while people may not realize how successful Sac State has been in some of the Olympic sports, like the volleyball team has done great, baseball, softball, etc.
Soccer
as well.
Right?
Yeah, soccer as well. Like they've been killing it in a number of different other sports. And I mean this with all due respect to those sports. To me, though, football and both men's and women's basketball is kind of like the front porch of your university, the front lawn, so to speak, of a school's athletic department. And to be honest with you, in a lot of ways for the entire institution, right? Like, because I don't know much about University of Alabama's curriculum or their institution, but I know the 5-star recruits they typically have, right? So everything kind of centers around those two programs. Is that one of the reasons why there's been a lot of emphasis on making sure the football program is to a certain standard and a certain level as well as those basketball programs? We might have lost. We lost them. Hold on. We'll get him back in a second. We'll get him back here. Technical difficulties, but Dr. Luke Wood will be back here in just a second. Man, you guys can't see it. Some of the people who are watching on the stream, that jacket fire, that jacket. There you go. He's back. Coach, or excuse me, Dr. Luke Wood. I was just telling people while we got you connected again, that jacket, man. He wanted them go joints, man.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. I don't know how much of the question that you heard, but I was basically saying, because it is kind of the front porch or front lawn of an institution, the emphasis on making sure that the football program and the men's and women's basketball program is on a certain level. Is that one of the reasons why there has been a little bit of emphasis on that, because you feel that may boost the profile of the entire institution?
Yeah, I mean that's been the focus, right? Is Sacramento State has the ability to be a big name in not just as a academic institution or athletic institution, but as an institution overall.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I wanted to do as president was to elevate the brand, so that when you turn on ESPN, you see them talking about Sacramento State. You turn on CNN, you see them talking about Sacramento State. And we've been able to show in the last 2 years since I've been here that we can do that. It's not normal for Sacramento State to be in a ticker on ESPN, but you know what? Over the past couple months, that's happened several times.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do, is to use athletics as a way to elevate the brand, because elevating the brand means that when students graduate, their degree is worth more in the marketplace. And that's what the ultimate end goal is.
Right.
I want more students coming to Sacramento State. I want students having more resources here, and athletics is a way of doing that. And I want the quality, the perceptional quality of their degree to be changed. And we're using athletics as a way to just elevate everything about it.
I love it, man. Dr. Luke Wood, president of Sacramento State, on D-Lo and KC with us right now, kind enough to give us a little bit of his time. I followed that Reddit Q&A you had last night, and that was pretty cool, to be honest with you, to have the president of a university being as open and candid as you could be in that situation. That was really dope. But you spoke about something that made a lot of sense to me, and you talked about essentially, because of the media market the university is in, being here in Sacramento, that like to a certain degree, we are leaving revenue on the table by not maximizing the conference that you're playing in or the level of FBS football that you're in right now. And it just, I never really heard it broken down that way, and it made a lot of sense. Can you kind of expand on that? Because I thought it was an excellent point by you.
Yeah. So a lot of people have said to me, like, why would you make the transition to becoming an FBS team? Because ultimately that's going to be more expensive, but they don't understand the finances behind it.
Mm.
So, first of all, we are currently an FCS team, Football Championship Subdivision, and we're trying to become an FBS team, Football Bowl Subdivision. And the difference is that essentially our 21 athletic teams, 20 of them compete at the highest level. The only one that doesn't is football. And so we're in the Big Sky. And right now, and we love the Big Sky. They've been great to Sacramento State. I've got nothing but accolades for the presidents, for the commissioner, for the conference as a whole. They want to run a good shop.
Mm-hmm.
But our media payout from the Big Sky for all 21 athletic teams is $100,000 a year. That's it. Despite the fact that Sacramento State is in a media market that's the top 20 media market in the nation. So we're a top 20 media market, but there's some things about that media market that matter. Two big things. One, we are not in a highly media market that has a lot of competition. It's Sacramento State football, it's the Kings, and for a few years the A's, but there's not a lot else in the media market.
Right.
The second thing is that we are the only top 20 media market in the nation that does not have a FBS football team. So we know with this transition that we're making that we're not going to be talking about a media payout of $100,000.
Right.
We're going to be talking about a media payout in the millions. And a media payout like that long term makes it so that when we face state budget crises like we're doing right now, when we face challenges across other parts of the institution in terms of resources, that athletics can be a buoy that can help us do better
Yeah.
by increasing out of state enrollment, which those students pay more to come and be and have an in state experience.
Yeah.
I think we're making through media rights and also just attendance at games. So I tell people like, hey, you see the cuts that the campus is going through from the state level. You see the challenges with the budget. If you're an alum or you like Sacramento State or you love Sacramento and you live in Sacramento, the number one way to support us right now is show up to a football or basketball game, buy
Mm.
a hot dog, buy a soda pop, and make sure you get a good ticket.
Yeah.
Because those monies we're taking 15% of all that new revenue is going back into the institution to help support it. So people need to understand that what we're doing here is very calculated. We've had a lot of consultants in on this who have been helping us look at how we're going to monetize our media market. And I can tell you right now, I had a call, in fact, with one of our consultants earlier today who's working with different media outlets. We're looking at traditional media outlets, we're looking at streaming services, and the dollar signs that we're seeing is categorically different
Mm.
than what is taking place right now. So $100,000, I think we both know that Sacramento State is worth a lot more than that, and our students deserve that.
Which and one of the things that I've and it's I don't know if it still applies, but one of the things that I always thought about um, in the last few years about boosting the profile of Sac State and specifically the football. I know football is on TV, but I would always think about the basketball team is, I should be able to turn on CBS 13 or whatever, and watch Sac State play basketball. I have no problem going to ESPN Plus and all this other stuff. But some people, like my grandmother, she would, hey, if Sac State was on 13, she would watch it, and or if they had a deal with somebody else. But that's kind of the things that you're talking about with being able to make these moves. If you're, and we'll get into being an independent, you can kind of have say so about how your TV contract goes. You don't have to be locked into the Big Skies deal with ESPN Plus to be able to have the notoriety that you want in your community.
Agreed. And really, that's what this is all about: is being able to determine our own future. Right now, we can't determine our own future, but when football makes that transition, and with the elevation of basketball by hiring Mike Bibby, but not just that, did you see the three new players that we just announced?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on, man.
Right? We just picked up Bear Cherry from
Yeah.
ULV. For those who don't know, you better ask somebody. We got a great big man. We got Taj Glover, whose dad is Damian Glover, who played in the NBA. We've got Shakir O'Neal, who's the son of Shaq.
Mhm.
So those are our three players out the gate. There's a lot more that we're in conversations with. We've actually got a big visit coming up to campus here very soon, and I'm excited. This is not the same old Sacramento State. This is a different institution that's making investments, and our community deserves that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. President Dr. Luke Wood with D'Lo and KC today, man. And Dr. Wood, the decision to go FBS or make the push to go FBS was something you guys have been very vocal about for a while. So it didn't surprise people that that was the news that came out for the application that you're making with the NCAA. But what was maybe a little surprising to some was the willingness to go independent. I know we had been talking about the Pac-12 and SAC-12, that movement and the Mountain West and all that, and some people were kind of thrown off by the thought of going independent. I'm a big college football fan. I understand what the UConns have done, what UMass is doing, Notre Dame. So I understand the move to go independent is perfectly fine. But what was the thought process with you guys, with you and Mark Orr about making the move to, hey, if we don't get an invite, that's fine. We'll just go independent.
So I mean, it comes down to really one main thing. which is we will get a better media deal being independent than by being part of a conference that lets us in. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that's really the difference that we're looking at.
Yeah.
And so we certainly could be currently in an FBS conference, but I think our best path is for us to take a few years and be independent and demonstrate the power of our market so that we're in a different bargaining position. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I would say this: no university in the country should consider being independent unless they're in an amazing media market that doesn't have competition. So we're
Mm.
one of the few places in the country that this could actually work. So I wouldn't recommend this strategy to anybody else. But when we kept looking at the numbers, we kept looking at the opportunity. It just made financial sense for us in a way that I don't actually think it would make sense for anyone else. So there's some pundits out there who said, "Oh, that makes no sense. Why would you do that? It's more expensive." Yeah, but they're not remembering that we're only making $100,000 on our media rights, so that they don't have an understanding of what the actual data look like.
Yeah.
And for us, it's not just that. As an independent institution, we're not part of a conference. We get to determine our schedule. I don't want us just playing whoever else is in our conference.
Mhm.
I want Sacramento State, I want our students to have the ability to compete against the biggest names in college sports.
Yeah.
That's one of the challenges that we have right now with the Big Sky. Again, a great conference, great teams. Uh, Again, lots of respect for the conference, but it's hard to get students excited about the teams that we play.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's certainly not going to be hard for us to get them excited about playing teams in the Pac-12, the
Mhm.
Big 12, and other conferences that we've talked to. Who I shouldn't say conferences themselves, but but colleges within those conferences that are willing to play us. And so we have a draft schedule already for 2026 and 2027.
Oh
And I'm
man.
telling you right now, we play some of the biggest names in the country. When people see what we've been cooking, everybody's going to want to be at the table.
Come on, man. Come on. I'm loving that, Doctor. I'm loving that right there. The other thing about it too, because like I said, I'm a big college football guy, and I follow everything that's going on. And maybe this goes into your guys' thinking as well. There's a lot going on in college football right now as far as conference realignment, building conferences, all this other stuff, and going independent also probably gives you an opportunity to let the dust settle a little bit. You know what I mean? Because what we're seeing right now, as far as this team is in this conference, we may not see that in 3 years. So if you go a couple of years independent and let the dust settle and let these conference establish themselves, then it may be a little bit more of something that you could do for the long term being in a conference, because you can go in a conference tomorrow and uh, 12 months later they completely flip who they are as a conference. So I kind of look at it that way as well with you going independent.
Well, that was actually one of the big factors, and of course, there's a lot of legal turmoil within NCAA and also within some of the conferences, and we kind of wanted to stay away from some of that for a while.
Mm. Yeah, makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah.
I watched something the other night on Madison Square Garden, and how it was renovated to what we see now. And they talked about how they renovated the garden and they never shut it down for renovations. It was like a still functioning establishment while the transformation and the renovations were going on. Now, Hornet Stadium isn't a venue that's used 250 to 300 days out of the year, so it won't be as drastic. But some of the things that I've heard is Hornet Stadium and the renovations and the vision that you have for the final product is kind of going to be going on while the team is still playing at Hornet Stadium. So, what are some of the things that we could see as soon as September when we go out to Hornet Stadium?
Well, as soon as September, you're going to already see changes. So part of this transition is like, in some ways, it's a dress rehearsal, right? We've got to be able to show that we're ready.
Mm.
So we're spending resources to reinforce the stands and make them better.
Okay.
We're putting padding on the seats so there's more comfortable for the fans. No one likes sitting on benches that make you feel like you're at a high school, so we're fixing that. We're painting We're doing some painting. We're fixing the track. We're adding video boards. We're adding a whole new lighting system. We're adding ribbon boards. We're adding different entertainment options that we haven't had before. New restrooms. Concessions are going to look different. It's not the same experience as it's been before. So come to a football game this year, and you're probably most of the fans are probably going to say, "What happened?" And I'm going to tell you what happened. Brendan Marion showed up.
There we go, man. Go, Sacramento. So to that point, is it going to be the same process for the new arena at the Well? Like, is that going to be something where it may take some time and we see some things before it fully is ready to go, or is that going to be 100% ready to go by the time next basketball season starts?
Yeah, no, that's actually a great question. So for basketball, the new facility, which will be in the Well, and basically what we did is we had this massive gym on campus, and we've put in expandable seating, so we're going to have way more capacity than we've had before. I have to say we've been playing historically in the Nest on campus. I don't know about you, but I attended a high school of 100 kids in far northern California in the middle of the forest, and my high school basketball gym was better than ours.
Yeah.
Right? So it was time for us to level up, and that's what we decided to do.
Yeah.
So the basketball gym renovations will be done by the end of this month.
Come on, man.
So I'm inviting you to come. We're going to have an event in May where we're going to unveil it. We're going to have our coach there. We're going to have some of our new players there. I want you to come and see what we put together, because we're not talking about it. It's literally almost done. They've been sending me videos each day of essentially the progress in the gym.
Yeah.
It's a significant improvement, which is going to benefit men's basketball, women's basketball. We're also going to be able to host larger competitions for gymnastics and for volleyball. And of course, at Sacramento State, we've got Combat U. And so
now
we're
we
going to have, yes, wait till you see the Well sold out for mixed martial arts card at Sacramento State, hosted by UFC Hall of Famer Uriah Faber.
Come on, man. Come on.
That's what we're doing.
So look, Coach. We talking football, we talking basketball, but Combat U. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now I'm not an MMA guy. I will say that I'm a big boxing guy, big time boxing guy. Do you watch like boxing currently? Like, are you up to date with, the Terrence Crawfords, the Canelos, or are you more like kind of trying to establish what we're doing at Sac State?
So I'm a big boxing fan. So and
my
history is actually through boxing, not through MMA.
Got you. But you boxed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've done some amateur boxing. I'm off right now for a small injury that with my hand, but I'll be back training hopefully within 3 weeks. And I love the spar. During my first year as president, I sparred every single week, sometimes multiple times a week. I got to tell you a funny story. I was sparring, and sparring, you hit each other, right?
Right.
And so I got smacked. I mean, it was a good shot. I didn't see it coming. I thought I had blocked part of it. Partial block, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So I show up to a meeting on campus, and like it's getting blacker and blacker and blacker, right? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so unpresidential right now. And so they got this whole team of folks in my office trying to figure out what to do. And like it was literally an ongoing joke for a while of the staff in here helping me put makeup on so I could be presentable for the public.
Who was doing that? They should already know. Only body shots, man. What you doing? Only body shots.
Well, I know that that's what I should do, but at the same time, I shouldn't be willing to let my students do something I'm not willing to do myself.
I heard that. I'm not mad at you.
That's part of being a leader.
Yes, indeed, man. Dr. Wood, one more thing before we get out of here. You've been so gracious with your time. I appreciate it. The Sac State spring game going down this Sunday afternoon. I absolutely cannot wait for this, man. It's going to be such a good time out there. First time seeing the go-go offense, like you mentioned, up close and personal. Weather should be great, all that. I was asking D'Lo the other day, and no disrespect to any of the coaches before, but I can't remember having a spring game at Sac State that felt like a real spring game, like something that you would see on ESPNU or something like that. for everyone coming out there on Sunday, some people that are on the fence, some people that are just finding out about it, what can they expect at Hornet Stadium on Sunday?
They can expect. So first of all, in my Ted Lasso voice, we're talking about practice, right? So listen, the spring game is essentially a practice game, but what it means is that we take our team, we divide them into two teams, offense and defense for both sides, one in green, one in white, and we have a scoring system, and then they compete against each other. So they're going to see a game. There's going to be concessions out there. Some folks are doing tailgates. I just found out about that today. We didn't plan for a tailgate, but we got so many requests. We're like, go ahead.
Now I'm gonna have to go through the parking lot. Now I'm gonna have to take a lap. Come on now.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I love doing as president is going from place to place and just saying hi to everybody and just seeing the love. But the other part is we're hosting a free musical performance too. So we got a hip hop group, Blue Bucks Clan, that's going to be out there. So I didn't know who this group was. I have to admit at first.
Yeah.
And then I asked my daughter, and she lit up like a Christmas tree and it's like, oh, I'm going. So like you're gonna get to go see basically just a wonderful entertainment event. The doors open at 3:30. The game starts at 4. But I think that the most important thing that's happening is an opportunity to meet the coaches, meet the players, and to see what everyone's talking about with this go offense.
Yes,
And
indeed.
it's high flash, it's high scoring, it's a lot of fun to watch. We've got the best football coach in the country at Sacramento State right now. So
Yeah.
if you're a Hornet, if you got a family member that's a Hornet, if you've never been a Hornet but you just like football, come to Sacramento State on Sunday at 4 o'clock. That's the place to be, and you get to see something that's special.
Well, hey, I didn't attend Sac State, but I'm applying for my status as honorary Hornet because I love what's going on at Sac
Well, on
State, man.
behalf of the university, we bestow that status,
My man.
and we are looking forward to seeing you at the game.
Yes, indeed. I'll be there, man. I know so many other people will be there. Dr. Wood, man, as somebody who was born and raised in here, you are doing amazing things in this city. We thank you, and I know it's just the beginning. I can't wait. More news coming real soon. I can't wait, man.
Oh, I'm gonna let me do a little prelude for you here,
Okay,
brother. Next week, be on the lookout for an explosive announcement from Sac State.
Oh.
Just gonna
Well,
stop that right there.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. You got the StreamYard. You can come right here on D-Lo and KC. You know that's an open invitation anytime.
All right, then I would like to see you next week.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen, man.
All
Dr.
right.
Wood, man, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I'll see you out there on Sunday.
See you then. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
No problem, man. Dr.